in the midst of the current Greater Sydney lockdown into the unknown. Well, I mean, by the time it is late September, it will be around 3 months since the beginning of the lockdown in late June. I think it's important for us, as Sydneysiders, to support local businesses as you can, according to your abilities. So for me, as a personal example, I like to eat and drink, as you can see from my Isaac Eat and Drink hashtags. In the previous video, I recommend, or to use some more objective word, introduce Hong Kong restaurants in Sydney, which I usually go to help me solve my Hong Kong homesickness, because I have not been back to, I've been away from Hong Kong for a year and a half because of the, obviously, COVID-19 and also the related border restrictions, which is pretty annoying. Yeah, so talking about, back to this video, what I mean by support local eat and drink is to support restaurants near where you live in terms of the suburb. So here in Sydney, I live in Epping. So Epping, it's the suburb of where I live. So this video will mean I will introduce restaurants that I usually go to in Epping as part of my ability or what I prefer to support local businesses. Obviously, in the midst of the lockdown, you can't dine in, but at least you can still order takeaway. Some people will prefer order takeaway by phone call or online apps like Uber Eats, but for me, I like to just walk in and then order and then pick up and then grab back home to enjoy, or depends on where I go on that day. Just to pick up takeaway to support local businesses. Thankfully, there are different types of food, different kinds of restaurant here in Epping, and to introduce, I will break down into 2 parts. So this video will be about Asian food, Asian restaurants, which include Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese, and also Chinese restaurants. And another video, which will be the next video, will be about the local cafes in Epping. So this video, as I mentioned, 2 parts. Asian, as in Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese, and Chinese, and the next part, which will be actually the next video, will be about local cafes in Epping. So today it's September 1st. Wow, it's already September. Yep, September 1st, Wednesday. From this day onwards, I will introduce some different kinds of food, different types of restaurants here in Epping. But as I mentioned, this video will focus on Asian food, Asian restaurants in Epping. The next video will focus on local cafes here. So let's go to explore different restaurants in Epping. Shh. So I'm now in the eastern side of Epping Station, which is opposite of where I live. I live in the western side of Epping Station, and here's the eastern side of Epping Station. And now I'm waiting for takeaway dinner, obviously because of the lockdown, for only for takeaway. And that's the Vietnamese restaurant I go often, phosamnoodlehouse. One good thing about this restaurant is you get 10% off if you pay by cash, but it must be pick up takeaway orders only. Okay, here's a look of my takeaway dinner. I got Hainanese chicken, rice, and as usual, or as common, it goes with the 3 sauces. The chili sauce or chili dip, whatever, should be sweet soy sauce, and the ginger shallot sauce, and it comes with the chicken soup or the chicken stock, and I also got myself an iced milk tea. Fun fact, Hainanese chicken rice does not come from Hainan province, China. It is just a way to make the chicken or the dish. So you can actually not only see Hainanese chicken rice in Vietnamese restaurants, but also typically in Singaporean, Malaysian, or even some Hong Kong style restaurant. So basically it's like Southeast Asian or like in general Asian restaurants. To see Hainanese chicken rice in the menu. So talking about the dish, the chicken, it's tender enough to tear off into different bites, and then with some skin to peel it off as well. And then as usual you get those three sauces for you to dig in separately, or like me, I like to sometimes mix the three sauces up to dig in with the chicken or even with the rice it's as well. And for the chicken, the soup, the broth, it's pretty usual taste, flavor as well. So it's a pretty common, nothing really special about the Hainanese chicken rice, but at least it's from the basic, it's tasty, it's at least flavorful enough to eat. Today is September 3rd, Friday, few minutes past 7, and I'm now waiting at Galbihaus Korean restaurant for my takeaway, obviously because of the lockdown. And if you can have a look at the menu, obviously Korean cuisines, different kind of food as well, or you can get a takeaway for your reference. Side note, there are also other Korean shops beside this Galbihaus as well. There are two Korean grocery stores as well. Opposite side of the road, there is a Korean dental center. Well, there's no, Korean dental center as well. Yep. And let's see what I will get later on for my takeaway dinner. So that's my takeaway dinner. I got prawn fried rice, and then complimentary side dishes, which is, in Korean called banchan as well. One good thing about having meals in Korean restaurants, takeaway for now in the midst of the lockdown, is you always get side dishes, or in Korean banchan. Different restaurants will give you different banchan, so maybe like different combinations as well. For this one in Galbihaus, where I got my takeaway, for example, as you can see, there are 3 banchan, kimchi, and I think it's fish cake and broccoli. Yeah. So talking about the fried rice itself, the portion, the general, it's okay, not too filling, but at least you feel something in your stomach. Yeah. And then the rice itself, not too dry, moist enough to eat. And I counted, there are actually 21 small pieces of prawn. 21 small pieces of prawn in this fried rice, which I think it's pretty generous. Fun fact about this Korean restaurant, Galbihaus, there are other Korean restaurants in Epping, which I will introduce them later on in the video to, as I mentioned, to support local business. In Epping. But one distinct feature about Galbihaus is it is the only Korean restaurant in Epping which do Korean barbecue. So which means you can barbecue your meat or other whatever, yeah, which offers basically Korean barbecue. Galbihaus is the only Korean restaurant in Epping which do Korean barbecue. So yeah, let's move on to another restaurant. Good evening, everyone. It's September 4th, Saturday. Also, a few minutes past 7, and now I'm waiting for takeaway dinner at Seabay Kitchen. Well, there are several Seabay Kitchen restaurants across Sydney, and there is one in Epping. And I'm now waiting at the one Seabay Kitchen in Epping for my takeaway dinner. And it is close to other restaurants as well. First I introduced already 3 days ago on September 1st. Down below there is a cafe called Common, but lights switch off. Opposite side of the road, further down there, can't see it clearly. There's another cafe called Assembly Ground Cafe and Bar, which I will introduce them in the later stage. I mean, in a different video, as I previously mentioned. And for now, let's wait outside Seabay Kitchen, the one in Epping, for a few more moments, and then I will let you guys know what I eat for tonight. So that's my takeaway dinner, lamb chops pot. So obviously not only lamb, but also other kinds of veggies as well in a soup stock as well as a pot. I mean, it was meant to be a pot, like an actual pot if you have it dine in, but obviously not for now because of the lockdown for takeaways only. And then I got myself steamed rice as well. Well, as you can see, although it's called lamb chops pot, there are quite a lot of veggies as well, such as bok choy, mushroom as well. For the lamb itself, it's a bit chewy, but it's still easy to tear off the bone as well. And because it's lamb, right, it tastes, I mean, the soup, it's quite lamby. If you like it, then, like for me, as an example, I like it, but like if you don't like it, such as my parent, like my mom, she doesn't like lamb, then she or you will not like this dish because it's lamb chops pot, which is quite lamby in general, I reckon. So tonight is September 8th, Wednesday, almost a quarter past 7, I mean actually, and now I'm waiting, I mean sitting inside the restaurant, Korean run Japanese restaurant called kazefreshsushi, which is also in Beecroft Road, but up in Beecroft Road as well, to wait for my takeaway. Let me show you a bit of the restaurant. Yep, that's my takeaway dinner. To the left, it's teriyaki chicken don. As you can see, there are also some spring onions and veggies as well. And then it's served with miso soup. Like the miso soup is complimentary with the don. And I also get fresh tuna baby roll, 6 pieces. But they only give me soy sauce, but forgot to give me wasabi. But it's not a big matter for me. Let's dive into it, and I would see how they go. I mean the how they go, as in the teriyaki chicken don served with miso soup and the fresh tuna baby roll go together. I actually tried teriyaki chicken several times already when I had kazefreshsushi. I mean, sometimes for lunch or dinner. I mean, before lockdown, for dine-in, and the standard is pretty consistent. I reckon they use some chicken thighs, so it's really moist and tender, very easy to tear off the meat. But only a minor criticism would be if they can break into chop or into smaller pieces, because I'm not sure if you can see, or by the time I film this, I already make a post on Facebook and Instagram. Be sure to follow my Facebook and Instagram as well. You can see the teriyaki chicken, they tend to make into a pretty big pieces, so it's a bit hard to eat. Not about the texture. The texture is really moist and tender, but it's really a bit difficult to break down to eat. So smaller pieces will be better. And then the fresh tuna baby roll, it's pretty fresh. You get 6 little pieces of roll, because it's called baby roll as its name suggests. I don't really mind they don't give wasabi, but of course wasabi it's better, but at least the basic thing it's soy sauce. But wasabi would be better if they give if I order baby roll or sushi next time. Good evening everyone. Tonight it's September 9th, Thursday. Also okay, can't see, but it's also a few minutes past 7, and now I'm waiting at hot dumpling, obviously Chinese dumpling, for takeaway dinner. Interestingly, it is right outside this bus stop, Epping Station, Beecroft Road, Stand D, and they use some smart system, I don't know whatever it's called, to tell when the next bus will arrive. And down there, Beecroft Road, or up there, Beecroft Road, there's heaps of other restaurants, local restaurants as well. Some I will go to later, but some I haven't been. I don't really used to get there. To go there for dinner, regardless of dine-in before the lockdown or after the lockdown, hopefully, or take away in the midst of the lockdown. And as you can probably see, there is some woman making some dumpling, and now I'll wait for a few more moments, and then let's see what I got for my takeaway dinner tonight. That's what I got for my takeaway dinner. It's garlic chive and egg boiled cooked dumplings. Yes, boiled cooked. As you can see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pieces of dumpling per serving. They also give you chili oil, and sometimes it's vinegar, but this time it's soy sauce. And I also get myself a snack, whatever. It's chicken in peanut butter sauce, or whatever you call it, red chili oil. Let's dive in, because I'm pretty hungry, and I will talk about more later when I finish the dinner. Talking about what I ate for dinner, 韭菜鸡蛋水饺 and 口水鸡 in Mandarin. The wrapping, for the dumpling, it's, as you can probably see, it's for me relatively huge compared to those thin ones. But it's good. They give different kinds of combination for dumpling. So the one I got, for example, garlic chive and egg is a vegetarian option. If you don't want vegetarian, you can get pork, you can get beef, lamb, chicken, or even seafood as well. And one reason I got I prefer boiled cooked dumpling, it's because, as I mentioned earlier in the video, it's 14 pieces per serve. 14 pieces per serve. If it's for steamed dumpling, it's only 7 pieces per serving. Soup dumpling, it's 10 pieces per serving. Although pan-fried dumpling, it's also 14 pieces per serve as boiled cooked dumplings. But you need to pay $2 extra for pan-fried, so that's why I got boiled cooked dumpling. And for the chicken itself, it's pretty tender, and the sauce, they give you heaps of sauce for you to dig in, or you can even dig in dumpling or not dumpling, or chicken in the chili oil, or even the soy sauce as well. So in general, dumpling, it's like okay, but at least you get different combination. For the filling for dumpling, whether you want boiled cook, or soup dumpling, or steamed dumpling, or pan fried dumpling. And not only the chicken and peanut butter sauce, there's also other kinds of snacks as well. I think I previously posted on Facebook and Instagram, so be sure to check it out. Tonight it's September 13th, Monday, almost 7:15, and now I'm at kstylefood, which is again on Beecroft Road, bus stop, Beecroft Road, yep, to wait for my takeaway dinner. That's a bit of the kstylefood inside the area, and probably a bit of the kitchen, that's the drinking machine to get your soft drinks. That's my takeaway dinner. Well, I didn't get any soft drinks from the drinking refrigerator, because that's the kimchi noodle soup, so it's cold, and you can see obviously some kimchi and also other kinds of veggie and some sesame on top and egg as well. So let's see how it goes. Well, as I mentioned, kstylefood is just on Beecroft Road, and the name of the bus stop, it's Epping Station, Beecroft Road, stand F. So talking about my takeaway dinner, kimchi cold noodle soup, kimchi pretty generous amount, cold noodle a little bit chewy, but it's quite easy to bite and then to slurp in with the soup as well to smash it, finish it. And the soup, because there is quite a lot of kimchi, so it's a bit mildly sour, but it's quite appetizing to eat together with the kimchi and the noodle, and as I mentioned, or as you can see, some sliced cucumbers and sesame on top. And the egg, it's actually a boiled egg, but it's half boiled egg, not the whole boiled egg. So I think like half boiled egg for you, and then half boiled egg for probably another cold noodle. So it's actually a half boiled egg, not whole boiled egg. So yeah, because I haven't really tried cold noodle soup in Australia. In Sydney, or even like in Hong Kong before, because a bit of a side fun fact, because Korean food I like to eat, like if for myself, like mainly like soup things, like hot soup, and then with rice, because I'm a bit of a rice person. I think the last time I had cold noodle soup was back in Korea in June 2017 as my high school graduation trip with my another three grade mates. From different classes, but graduating the same year. So we had a graduation trip to Korea for 6 days in Seoul, the capital, and Busan respectively, and we tried cold noodle soup there as well. So that time was last time I had cold noodle soup and that time was actually back in Korea. Yep, good evening everyone. Today is September 24th on Friday. It's almost 7, and now I'm downstairs where I live, which is bcdkoreanrestaurant, another Korean restaurant, to wait for my train. It's really downstairs. Turn right. That's the residential building that is exactly where I live, like the closest restaurant, which is basically a few steps to where I live. So let's see what I got for my takeaway dinner later. Yep. So this is a bit of the restaurant, And now if you order takeaway, obviously for now because of the lockdown, you will order here and pay like card or cash. You do everything here, and then you press the bell to let the people know to take your order. And over $60 free delivery within 5 kilometers if that suits you, but obviously not suits me because I live upstairs. Turn right. Yep. That's my takeaway dinner. The ox knee soup. There's some meat, ox knee in there with some veggies on top. That's the it's served with normal rice, or you can opt for special rice with, I'm not sure, I forget, because I tried special rice before, but I forgot what exactly it is. But I do prefer normal rice because it's more worth it. And as usual, Korean restaurant, they serve you complimentary side dishes or banchan as well. Here there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 banchans, which is the most generous compared to the other 2 Korean restaurants which I previously mentioned in the video. So that's my ox knee soup with rice, as in normal rice, and also with 6 kinds of complimentary banchans. As you can see, the color of the soup, it's kind of white, which suggests it's kind of milky texture. And the ox knee, there are heaps of ox knee in the soup, which is really tender and really like melts in your mouth, because when you bite, it just slurps inside. So it's quite really tender and melts in the mouth. And there are some other veggies as well to make the soup a bit, especially cabbage, to make it sweet in flavor. And also there are 6 banchans, which is the most generous they give you compared to the other 2 Korean restaurant, which is Galbihaus and kstylefood, which I previously mentioned in the video. Yeah, so the 6 banchan from top left, it's broccoli, and then the middle it's fish cake, and then top right it's carrot, I believe, and then the bottom left it's actually eggplant, and then some kind of seaweed, and lastly bottom right it's kimchi. So there are actually 6 banchans, which is pretty generous for Korean restaurant. Even for like 1 person as well, they also like give you this amount of banchan, or just in general side dishes together with the soup. As you can see, it's really flavorful, not only because of the ox knee, but also the cabbage to make it a kind of a bit of sweet of the flavor. So that's a pretty full meal, especially like for dinner, or you can have it like lunch anyway, but I had it today for dinner, so it's quite a generous, pretty full. So that's basically what I introduced in terms of the local eat and drink in general, like Vietnamese, Korean restaurants, Japanese restaurants, and Chinese restaurants downstairs of where I live here in Epping. And as what I said at the beginning, it's really important to support local businesses as you can during this lockdown. Although at this stage, New South Wales is already like more than 55%, yes, around 55% fully vaccinated, which is pretty close. I think it's like 15 something percent more to at least 70% when the lockdown, or they call it like stay at home orders, will lift for those who are fully vaccinated like me. And like different people will support their local businesses as they can. But for me, I like to eat and drink, so I would support a local eat and drink, which means I would support local restaurants, which is downstairs of where I live in Epping. So I think tomorrow there will be another video which I will basically support other kinds of restaurants, which will be mainly cafe. So follow my in general, follow my subscribe my YouTube and follow YouTube. And my Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter, so you won't miss out not only like tomorrow's video about cafe, local cafe, like fortunately, which is also downstairs of where I live, but also like other general kinds of what I do, not only what I do, but other kinds of like general some sort of like information. Yeah, that's it. See ya.